Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May we have your attention for a few housekeeping announcements. Please note the location of the nearest exit to you in the room. In the event of an emergency, please remain calm and make your way outside via that exit. Tonight's ceremony is scheduled to last 1 hour. At the conclusion of the ceremony, we invite you out to the Canada Games Plaza for our aerial fireworks display atop Connaught Hill. The fireworks display is scheduled to start at 8:15, but we will give you some time to make your way out to the plaza should our ceremony run late. If at any point tonight you require assistance, please prevail upon one of our many volunteers dressed in their white t-shirts. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming your Master of Ceremonies for tonight's ceremony, Mr. Randy Ferguson.
Good evening, Prince George. How are you doing? There's about 10 people over there that are doing well. Prince George, how are you doing? That's much better. Well, it's great to be back in Prince George. The last time I was here was with the Olympic torch relay for Vancouver 2010. And as I can see, Prince George is still as warm and welcoming as always. So we wish you a wonderful evening, and you are going to get to meet the world coming here this week to Prince George to compete in these World Paranordic Skiing Championships. And I would like you, please, to welcome our distinguished guests that will be joining us for tonight's celebration. First and foremost, would you please welcome, he is the chief of the Tlekli-Tene First Nations of the area, ladies and gentlemen, Chief Dominic Frederick. He'll be joined by Dr. Bob Stedward, founding president of the International Paralympic Committee. Also with him, Mr. Kevin Pedersen, chair of the local organizing committee for the Prince George 2019 World Paranordic Championships, and the mayor of Prince George, Mayor Lynn Hall. Well, it's our pleasure tonight to welcome some of Prince George's shining jewels, and they are joining us tonight for the national anthem. Please welcome Sergeant Getz, Sergeant Porter, Sergeant Prigmore, and Sergeant Abbey of the 396th City of Prince George Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron, here to raise the Canadian flag. I can't see them. There's too much lights in my face. There they are. This is meticulous work. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the Canadian National Anthem sung tonight by Kelsey Jewison.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Kelsey Jewison, everybody. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot in store for you tonight, a lot of local culture, local history, local heritage, and joining us now with the cast and dancers, please, a warm welcome for Anne Bazoki.
For the First Peoples, the rivers, the waters are the highways, and they take us where we need to be. Roy Henry Vickers shared this canoe song, which is thousands of years old, and it says we are going to go all over the world pulling together. We are born to do this. We are going to go all over the world singing together. We are born to do this. It is true. Whoa, ho, oh, yeah. Hey, hey, ha, hey, hey, whoa, ho, oh, yeah. Hey, hey, ha, hey, hey, ha. La manola, gang helagikla, hela, hela, ha, wohana, gwawina, wisa, heya, heya, ha. Whoa, ho, oh, yeah, heya, heya, ha, heya, heya, oh, ha, oh, yeah, heya, heya, ha, heya, heya, ha. La manola, blow soleil, gillies, hela, hela, ha, wohana, gwawina, wisa, heya, heya, ha. Whoa, ho, whoa, yeah, heya, heya, ha, heya, heya, whoa, ho, whoa, yeah, heya, heya, ha, heya, heya, ha. La manola, gang La manola, gang helagi kla hela hela ha, o hawa gwa awina wisa, heya heya ha. Hallelujah, heya heya ha, heya heya, oh hawa ya, heya heya ha, heya heya ha.
Once again, everybody, please, for Ann Bazoki and the Castan Drummers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the nations taking part in these 2019 World Paranordic Championships. Please, a warm welcome for Austria, Österreich, Belarus, Finland, Suomi, La France, France.
Oh my gosh, look at Germany.
Deutschland, Germany. Great Britain. The host nation of the next Paralympic Games in the summer of 2020, Japan. And also joining us is Kazakhstan. As you see, some of these nations have come with very big delegations. As we'll seat them, more to come, don't worry. Just let everybody make their way so we don't have a traffic jam here on the main floor. And here we are with the rest of our delegations, the hosts of last year's Paralympic Games, the Republic of Korea, Mongolia, one of the powerhouses of Nordic sports, Norway, Norge. I will also be welcoming to our opening ceremonies, Polska, Poland. our next nation making their way into the room here is another top Nordic sport nation. Please welcome Sverige, Sweden. And also for our delegation leaders that have the rock, please do not forget to bring your rocks here to our chief, please, at the front. Yes, Dominic Frederick is waiting for our nation's rocks. And now entering the room will be Tajikistan. Alors un rappel, si vous êtes votre meneur de délégation, n'oubliez pas de venir porter votre pierre sacrée au grand chef. Please bring your sacred rocks to Chief Dominic Frederick, please. And now another nation that you'll hear a lot about this week. Please welcome Ukraine. Those of you carrying the sacred rocks, please do not forget to bring them here to Chief Dominic Frederick. Alors, you already got some, there you go. Alors on rappelle pour nos amis français, si vous avez la pierre sacrée, de ne pas oublier de venir la porter ici au chef Dominic Frederick, please, s'il vous plaît. As we see, one of our larger delegations, Ukraine, now in the room. And our neighbors from the south, always welcome in Canada, the United States of America. And right behind them, the host nation of the 2019 World Paranordic Championships, Canada, le Canada. And right there, once again, the host nation, proudly representing Canada, our athletes, many Paralympic champions amongst the group, as for the other nations, joining up here once again and putting Prince George, British Columbia, Canada at the forefront of the sporting world. And ladies and gentlemen, please, one more time, for the nations here at the 2019 World Paranordic Championships, your applause! There we are, our athletes taking part in this week's event. And by your applause, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you will be coming up to the Caledonian Nordic Center to cheer on the best para-athletes in the world? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Dominic Frederick of the Kekli-Tene First Nation.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Come on. Let's hear you. Come on. Are you happy to be here? Why? Just kidding. My name is Dominic Frederick. I'm the Chief Counselor for Kekli-Tene. And where we are standing this very moment is part of our reserve from before, and it was called IR number 1, which is Slately. This is Slately, the real reserve. Our reserves today are located 30 kilometers east of Prince George. There is the Fraser River that separates the land we call north and south. IR number 2, side of the reserve, and the reserves are, number 2 is Castan Lahel, and Lahel Yoch is where we live. The number 4 reserve is Fort George, which is this reserve, number 1, is lately. And we have reserve number 3 is Klisbanachek, is Myworth on the Nichaco. It's about 12 kilometers west of here. And then about another 4 or 5 kilometers up the river from there we have Salako. Salako is Mud River, and the confluence of the Nichaco and Salako Mud River. And I also want to welcome you. Oh, just wait. You are probably wondering why we asked you to bring the small stones and rock from your home community. It is our way to bring a piece of your home to ours. Now that you have brought it here, this is part of your home now. We welcome you home. Welcome, welcome. On behalf of my fellow councillors, Dolin Logan, Clay Poutney, Vanessa West, Shirley Gustafson, and our community members and elders. And we also welcome you to our traditional territory. And we'd like to also acknowledge the elders and the chiefs and the hereditary chiefs that are here and have come to visit the city and visit our territory. And councillors from different communities. Our hope is that you enjoy the games, the facilities, our community, make new friends, and most of all is that you make good memories of your time here and be safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Chief Dominic Frederick. Thank you to the Kekli-Tene First Nation for having us on their land. And also a big round of applause, we'll see them a bit later, for our Castan drummers that have joined us tonight with Ann Bazoki. And also I'd like to, for you all to recognize our lovely dancers from the Enchaînement Dance Center. They were representing the rivers because Prince George lives right at the confluent of the Fraser and the Nechako rivers. So that's what the representation was during the athletes' entry. Well, to tell you or welcome you to the city of Prince George, I'd like to invite the mayor, His Worship Lynn Hall.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much. I'd like to recognize that we are on the traditional territory of the Clayton-Tenay, and I would like to thank Chief Frederick and his council for the partnership that we've forged. Chief, thank you very much for that. To the organizing committee, to the bid committee, to all of those involved, thank you. It was a short 18 months ago, I think, Kevin, where we announced that we were going to have the games. We announced them out at Otway. And here we are this evening. So if you would join me in a big round of applause, and I know Kevin's going to come up and speak in a moment, but join me in a round of applause to the bid committee and the organizing committee, please. Good job, Kevin. Kevin and your team, you put a great group together to be able to put on these games, and it's truly an honor to be here this evening, and I can't believe that the time has passed, and here we are welcoming all of you this evening. I first, too, want to recognize my council colleagues that are here this evening, and I'll apologize if I miss any, but I do know that Councillor Corey Ramsey is here, Councillor Garth Frizzell, and Councillor Kyle Sampson are with us. There's two other people that I want to introduce and thank them for being here. Shirley Bond, who is our MLA and is certainly no stranger to our community. Shirley, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Todd Doherty, our Member of Parliament, and if any of you know, Todd is back and forth between here and Ottawa. We're fortunate to have him home this weekend. Todd, thank you very much for being here. I want to thank you for everything. And certainly huge supporters of these games. And Todd, you're here with Kelly this evening, your wife, and Shirley. Bill is here as well. Bill, nice to have you. Thank you so much. So, as I said, it was exciting to be able to be part of the announcement that the championships were going to be held here in Prince George. And yes, that didn't seem that long ago. Well, I'm so excited this evening to be able to welcome the world to Prince George. To all of the athletes, coaches, team leaders, everyone associated with the teams, welcome to Prince George and the World Para-Nordic Ski Championships. It's a real pleasure to have you here. For us as a city, you know, we're involved in so many different sporting activities here, but really at the end of the day, we can be so proud of the fact that this is our first World Championship, and we are extremely proud to host all of you here in Prince George. You know, this gives us an opportunity to showcase our city and, of course, to showcase our fantastic Otway Nordic Ski Centre and the Caledonian Nordic Ski Club who operate that. This centre has been exposed to some fantastic competitions over the past 4 years, and let's just go back 4 short years ago, almost to the month, when we held the 2015 Canada Winter Games, and we had an opportunity to enjoy Otway, as all of you athletes are going to, and all of the folks that are sitting behind you when they come out to watch the championships. Over the next week, we'll see a world-class event and world-class competition, and I urge everyone in our city, not just the folks in this room, but everyone in our city, to take advantage of this opportunity. It doesn't come around that often where we can come out and see world-class athletes compete. So again, on behalf of Prince George, on behalf of City Council and the residents of Prince George, I want to welcome all of you here to Prince George, and I'm looking so forward to being out at Otway and seeing the competition over the next week. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Hall. Well, as Mayor Hall mentioned a second ago, this fine young man has been working long hours. I remember we had a discussion in July when it was like 40 degrees back home, and we were talking Para-Nordic World Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the chairman of the local organizing committee of these 2019 Prince George World Para-Nordic Championships, Mr. Kevin Pedersen.
Well, thank you, Mayor Hall. Very, very kind words. And And yes, it was about 2.5 years ago when we were given the amazing privilege to welcome the Paranordic World Skiing Championships to our fine city. We knew this would be our opportunity to create magic in Prince George on the world stage. This vision is about to come to life. We have a fantastic community of support from our incredible volunteers to our very generous funding partners, to our amazing sponsors, and all the people that have worked with us. As the chair of the organizing committee, I couldn't be more proud of what we're able to achieve at this time. It has been purely exhilarating. We are so pleased to welcome these incredibly inspiring athletes from all over the world to making history in Prince George. This is the pinnacle of achievement in so many ways, and we look forward to celebrating these championships with you with all our hearts. I now have the honor of inviting Dr. Bob Stedward, the founding president of the International Paralympic Committee, to speak. Thank you all, and let the magic begin.
Chief Frederick, Mayor Hall, and Chairman Pedersen. I've got a gym voice, so you could likely hear me without it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Prince George and the 2019 World Paranordic Skiing Championships. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to be here with you this evening. I think the last time I had an opportunity to open any World Championships or Paralympic Games was in 2001 when I was finishing my terms as president. But as a Canadian and as the founding president of the International Paralympic Committee, I have witnessed how much parasport has evolved in my country and around the world. Prince George and British Columbia have a long tradition of hosting international para-snow sport events. Some of the very best skiers in action here at the World Championships will no doubt remember the amazing Vancouver Paralympic Games from 9 years ago. Parasport events always leaves an important community legacy, and Prince George will certainly be no different. During the next 10 days, we will witness the best para-biathlon and cross-country skis in the world in the very first major championships since last year's Pyeongchang Winter Paralympic Games in South Korea. More than that, a whole new generation of fans will witness parasports for the very first time and will have a completely different perception towards people with a disability 10 days from now. I know that feeling. It occurred to me more than 50 years ago when I met 3 people in Edmonton, Alberta, who were using wheelchairs. They asked me if I could help them with their sport. It happened almost by chance, and I could never imagine how much change would take place in the following decades that I experienced. This event would not have been possible without the commitment of many different stakeholders. I would like to thank Prince George, led by Mayor Hall, and the local organizing committee, led by Kevin Pedersen, together with their partners and sponsors for their extraordinary work they have achieved. I would also like to thank the officials, competition staff, and volunteers. The sport would not be able to continue to grow if it was not for your indispensable support, your unselfish commitment, and your extreme effort. The facilities and snow conditions for these championships are world class. So to the teams and the world-class athletes, I wish you the best of luck. And I hope you also have some free time to enjoy this beautiful region of Canada. I now have the honor of inviting the City of Prince George Mayor, His Worship Lynn Hall, to declare open the championships.
Thank you very much, Bob. And it's a real privilege and a real honor for me to formally declare that the 2019 World Para-Nordic Skiing Championships are now officially underway. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Studward. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Mayor Hall. Once again, for our dignitaries, everybody, pour nos dignitaires. Well, we said they'd be back, and that's what they're going to do. Our friends from the Castan Drummers and Anne Bazoki will be joining us once again, as in a few moments we will be raising and hearing the Paralympic anthem. So if we can invite our friends back here to the stage. There they are. Are you coming up, folks?
No.
Nope, not coming up this time? Okay, sorry, my fault.
Okay, we'll come up.
Oh, there you go. Come on, Anne.
Yep.
I think we have room for now.
Right here.
There you go. Setting up they are.
We are. When we come together, you guys need to come over here because that's where they're going to be putting the flag. When we come together, as when we've gone apart from each other and we come back together, we have a celebration. And that's what this song represents, both literally and metaphorically. The Water Carries Us was written by two of our drummers, and it talks about traveling on the water and coming home. And until that continued until the time of the railways.
And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cadet Sergeant Getz, Sergeant Porter, Sergeant Brigmore, and Flight Corporal Brigmore to raise the Paralympic flag.
Let's all
gentlemen, please rise for the Paralympic anthem. Once again, everybody, a big round of applause for our Castan drummers, Ann Bazoki, and our cadets. Well, the official side of things has been completed. We are now going to continue with what I would call more of our cultural side, but we will first be going to, I think we're going to go into our oaths right away. They are getting ready, so we'll be waiting, because I don't see our entertainment ready either right now, but we'll make sure. So just a reminder for all of you fans, once again, who is coming up to the Caledonia Nordic Center on the weekend? That's not a lot of people. I know. This is the world, folks. You have in front of you some of the best para-athletes in the world. I was with them last year in Pyeongchang. I was lucky enough to be the announcer there. And the feats of these athletes, the exploits, because the conditions weren't that easy. It got very warm. And we had some of the best competitions I have personally seen, being around Paralympic sports for many years now. And we can just imagine, with the great conditions we have up at the Caledonia Nordic Center, you can just start to imagine what competition will be like this week. So once again, for our athletes, and who is coming up this weekend, or this week? Good stuff. That's more like it. Because they haven't traveled this far just to have 10 people out there, right? Well, as I said, we are going to move into some of the more of the cultural side of Prince George, British Columbia, Canada. Our next, I would call her artist. She has been a competitive skier out of Caledonia Nordic, so one of your own. She is also an accomplished composer, musician, and about 5 years ago, while training on her road bike, she suffered a very serious injury after being hit by a car while training. It took her 3 years of rehabilitation to get back to her passions that were cycling, skiing, and music. She composed the anthem, or the song that represented the Canada Games a few years ago here in Prince George, called Finish Line. Well, tonight she's going to be performing once again her own composition. She'll be joined tonight by Curtis Abriel Nick Tyndale, and the enchaînement dancers, together with wheelchair participants Chloe Grayton and also Brett Walkerteen. And a big special thanks to the Therapeutic Riding Association. The dancers will be dancing to a dance that is choreographed by Judy and Nicole Russell, who we'd like to thank as they've put a lot of effort and time into this celebration here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, performing her song that was commissioned by the local organizing committee of these 2019 World Paranordic Championships, singing the beautiful song that is inspired by her own journey through sports, song known as Know My Name. Ladies and gentlemen, Sage Bialuski.
See the sun, alarm clock on. No, I won't hit snooze. Get my hustle on, and I'll play this song. 'Cause my goals are waiting on my way, only way home. Gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name, I sit on. Gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name. Fast track on, there's no rapid route, just hard work and consistency. In bed at 9, and I'm up at 5. They used to think that I was crazy, I'm crazy. Oh, gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name, I sit on. Gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name. Devotion, just follow your passion. They say, push through the hard times, you'll come out stronger. Yeah. Love and devotion, just follow your passion. They say, push through the hard times, you'll come out stronger. Just say my name, just say my name. I knew this day would come and I would feel this way. Oh, take my legs and take my arms, no, I won't change. I knew this day would come and I would feel this way. How's everybody doing tonight? That wasn't loud enough. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! I said, oh, gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name. I said, oh, gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name. I said, oh, gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name. I said, oh, gonna see my name in the world. It's gonna know my name. I said, oh. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sage Bialuski and the enchaînement Dance Center with, once again, Chloe Grayton and Brett Walkerton. It was time we got Brett out on the stage because he was just about to burst. He's been here for about 2 hours and he was revving to go, and he was out there doing what he does best, that is dancing with the troops. So thank you very much once again. It is traditional when we open championships, games, maybe Paralympic or Olympic or Commonwealth, whatever, for what we call the swearing of the oaths. And tonight I would like to invite an athlete, an official, and also a coach. Joining us tonight, she is part of Team Canada, Emily Young. Will she come out? There she is. Is she coming? I can't see anything. There she is. And joining Emily, Canadian official and part of the organizing committee, Jim Burby. And Canadian head coach, Mr. Robin McKeever. Accompanied by Sergeant Abby.
In the name of the athletes,
in the name of all judges,
in the name of the coaches and officials,
we promise to take part in these championships, respecting and abiding by the rules and in the spirit of fair play. We all commit ourselves to the sport without doping or cheating. We do this for the glory of the sport and the honor of the teams and the respect for the fundamental principles of the Paralympic movement.
Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you. Best of luck to everyone on the Canadian team, and thank you to Mr. Burby for joining us. Well, for the closing remarks, I would like to invite back to the stage once again the chairman of the local organizing committee for the Prince George 2019 World Paranordic Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome once again for Mr. Kevin Pedersen.
Well, it really, I'm just ecstatic to see everybody here and all the nations, and it's a real honor and privilege for Chief Dominic Frederick to welcome us all to the traditional territory of the Lheidli T'enneh, and we want you to experience the territory and Prince George and everything it has to offer. And so, including the amazing spirit of our community. So, have an amazing competition, but even more so, have an amazing time in Prince George, and we hope to see you back soon. So, so good luck, and certainly have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thanks for all your hard work, and we look forward to competition starting tomorrow. So just a reminder for everybody, competition does start tomorrow, so make your way up there. And where is it happening? There you go. And who's coming? Oh, come on. Who's coming? There you go. Everybody have a wonderful championships. And thank you, danke schön, tak, tausend tak. And that's about where I had my bonne chance. Et merci à vous tous d'être parmi nous ce soir. We are going to invite you now out onto the plaza, just outside here. And before the crowd, local Prince George crowd, sit down, don't move. Out of respect for our athletes, we are inviting you to leave the room first. Just go right out the doors there to the plaza, because we are going to have some fireworks, des feux d'artifice, and that will be starting in a few minutes. And once our athletes have cleared out, we will invite you, the local fans. And who's going to be there on the weekend? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Have wonderful championships. Best of luck to everybody, and we'll see you out at Otway. Have a nice evening, everyone.